but I was actually leading umbrella operations that actually had a black operation happening underneath that I was tied to. So they would have me close to that so that I would be able to infiltrate and do my other job that was assigned to me. So with that, because there was such intertwining of operations, a lot of it is foggy on both sides.
Okay, so let's see. Because it's really easy for me to go down this rabbit hole with you and start following, out your personal remembrances. But I think that today's interview, at least for the first part, and let's do this first. Let's talk about the Gulf of Aden and why you're specifically coming forward now, before we do a more formal interview that has been planned actually for several weeks. And so let's talk about the most crucial stuff that you want to get out there right away, and then we can digress from there, and then we can later decide what to cut in and what to cut out.
Okay. Let me just make this statement. I want to make this perfectly clear. What I'm about to let everyone know is based on actual facts, articles, also contacts, absolute reliable contacts who have contacted me within the past month, overwhelming amount of information, and this is also based directly on operations that I was a part of, that I've regained some memories back from July of 2008 until the beginning of March of 2009. Operations I was a part of absolutely relate directly to what is happening now in the Gulf of Aden. Okay, so what is occurring right now? It's actually been going on for quite a while, but it's just now, for whatever reason, it's leaked out, or they have allowed it to leak out, I should say, that there has been major military ship movement happening in the Gulf of Aden in a specific location where they are actually hundreds of ships right now circling a designated area of open water. We're talking Russian warships, Chinese warships, Japanese warships, Australia, Germany, UK, the list goes on and on. Even designated European Union ships, UN ships, Blackwater, which is now Z, has a ship there right now. If anybody is aware, Japan has not actually had warships leave their area of operation for military type action in decades. Same with China. China is very much about keeping their warships close. So this is huge. On top of it, there is a research company that specifically deals in genetics and DNA. I don't remember the name at this time, but Kerry, when I get that information to you, you will have that are specifically doing research in alien human DNA research with the genetics. That is going on at the same time there as well. On top of it, there has been a lot of this, there's a lot of piracy going on there. Well, these pirates, the Somali pirates and all that, it's absolutely false flag operations. The reason they're doing that is to gain fear of, everyone in that area, to keep them away. It's a very good manageable method to keep just regular people, the public, away from that area. Because, what's a better way to invoke fear but piracy and terrorism? That comes to what happened at Fort Hood.
Okay, before we go there, just to clarify, because you, as a member of the Coast Guard, anything that happens on water is obviously something that you're quite well versed in.
Absolutely.
And so we want to talk about the source of your information, and because of that, we also want to talk about some of your sort of skills and augmented skills. Sure. Okay, because this is going to factor in, I assume.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is that you're saying that there is genetic engineering going on. What are you talking about? Are you talking about on a ship? in the middle of the water, or where the StarGate is located? Because I understand the StarGate is over over the body of water.
It is, and there's witness testimony, and there are images of. They're calling it an anomaly and a huge magnetic field that is occurring right there at that location. They're calling it an anomaly, they're giving it labels, where the water is actually in a swirling motion. It's actually causing a huge whirlpool effect.
Incredible. Okay,
and
very cool.
there has been actual sightings, and you can find this online, of where they have seen a part of it actually come up. But that's gone away now as far as the sightings, because they have, the area of security zone around it is miles and miles and miles.
Okay, but who's in charge of that area?
Well, I'm not quite sure, to be honest, of who exactly is in charge, but I can tell you who I would be not surprised if it's in charge is obviously members of the global elite, the power to be. What I think is who was in charge now, I think is going to change, or may have already changed, but I have not yet been able to get confirmation on it. When something like this occurs, is this StarGate something that had not been discovered? Had it been put to rest and there was no interest in it? These are possibilities, but when something like this comes up, certain projects that are still very much happening under the name of MKUltra come in and assume command as per direction of certain members of the global elite.
Okay, and when you say MKUltra, you're actually saying MKUltra, but it's a different designation? I don't understand.
Well, MK is actually used for designation of projects, things. That's just me in my military talk. When in the military, it's actually referred to as MKUltra. Like you have certain flares that you use, like the Mark 134, but you look at it and it says MK 134.
I see.
So that's just me being military. But I'll try to say MKUltra for,
No.
I tend to start talking using military lingo because I did it for so long.
I understand. Okay, and actually, let's talk about how old you are and how long you spent in the military.
I am 31. And I, by the books, spent just under 10 years in the military. But my involvement has gone on much longer prior and after.
Okay, right. And then, again, to get back to the genetic engineering, you said this is going on in the area, but is it, again, going on, are you saying under the water?
Yes.
In a base?
Yes.
Okay, so
it is. There is an underwater base there. I have received confirmation on that.
Okay. You're saying that there is an underground base, an underwater base in the Gulf of Aden?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where you think the genetic engineering is going on?
Absolutely.
Okay, and
it's the same, they're doing similar things that they've been doing for decades at underground bases all over the place. Specifically, they've been doing specific types of DNA research and engineering in a lot of the underwater bases, like, for example, the one that's in the Caribbean, the one that I was at.
Oh, right, the one that you're having recovered memories about.
Yes.
Okay, very, very fascinating. And you've shown me some drawings which are really very, very interesting. What is the source of your intel? Is it individual? Is it psychic? Is it on the internet? Is it, I don't know.
It's a little bit of everything. And
Okay.
I'll tell you how this all began. I had received an email from one of my sources, who I cannot disclose this person's name at this time for their safety, and there was a link on it to an article talking about this SeaGate that was being expected, that there were some strange anomalies happening, and there was a lot of warship